we are up at the Allegheny National Forest, in particular at the Tracy Ridge campground. I rode up here with Beth, and she brought Schutzen over here, who is a recent graduate of Paw and Order training.
Yes, yes, Paw and Order.
Paw and Order.
Schutzen.
The plan is we're going to car camp tonight, and then tomorrow we'll just drive right up the road, just a couple miles, and we'll start our hike. This is called we're going to be doing what's called the Cornplanter Loop. I found this on the old Mid-Atlantic Hikes website, which I don't think is up and running anymore. Somebody also did a track of it last July. I know parts of it. We're going to be, tomorrow when we start, we'll have about a mile, 1.1 miles, if I remember correctly, till we get to the New York line, and then it'll be on NCT, and then it'll be NCT's Finger Lakes Trail. And we'll go about 13 miles tomorrow to a shelter site and camp there, and then we'll have a 12, and an 8. We're going to be coming back here, passing through here, and we're going to be camping at the same exact site on the third night of the trip. So we did a stash over there, some stuff. And we stashed some stuff for, earlier today we stashed another stash we're going to pick up along the way. So anyways, tonight's supposed to rain. Beth's sleeping in her car in her usual setup in there. I brought my tent, just because I don't want to pack up any wet gear in the morning. I could just stash this into my other backpack that I brought, and leave my regular backpack untouched for the trip. We're going to get a fire going, but I do want to mention, I'm such an idiot. I'm not used to tent camping. I forgot to bring a sleeping pad. So I'm going to do what I can here with, Beth had this blanket, and I got my 1/8-inch foam pad underneath. And of course I'm on all these acorns and stuff, so I should be all right. It's not supposed to get too cold tonight. I remembered everything. I remembered my air pump, charged the air pump. I remembered my pillow. I remembered everything except for the actual sleeping pad. Oh, and I just realized this too, because it's supposed to start raining once it gets dark tonight. I was gonna bring a tarp that we could hang out underneath. So I grabbed, wasn't paying attention. I grabbed my old hammock instead of my old tarp, because they're both green. Grabbed the wrong thing. So hanging out underneath the hammock is not gonna be good once it starts raining. Oh God, I'm such an idiot. Since my my hammock tarp was already on top of my backpack for tomorrow, I didn't have to dig into my pack to get it out. So we'll just hang this up. If it does start raining, we'll just drop this down and hang out underneath this. Got some chairs. Got some drinks. The Schutzen, he has his what do you call it? The puffy on his puffy jacket. And with the red in the back, he looks like a vampire. Here's the situation. It's 9:30, and it started raining a few minutes ago, so I set up the tarp so we had somewhere to hang out. And I brought a hobo meal for dinner tonight. I was going to cook it on the fire, but the fire's not happening. So Beth has one of these BioLite, I think it's called, BioLite things. I'm just going to try cooking it over there. It's going to take too long, so I'll try to get a fire going tomorrow night for that, and I'll eat tomorrow night's meal tonight. If somebody can identify this, it's going to be kind of hard to tell. I don't know, is this something queen bee, or what is going on here? I don't know what this thing is. It's kind of scary looking. Whatever it is. I think it's a bee. It's almost 9:30, and we're here at the Route 346 parking lot. This is where we had 200 people crammed in last year to start the A100. Kind of popular right now for Friday morning. We're going to be coming back from that direction, so we're going to be heading up this way. We got about just over 1 mile to the New York border. It's like 59 degrees right now, but it's going to keep dropping all day. With the feels like temperatures overnight is going to be in the like 20s. It's supposed to be pretty windy today. Crossing into New York. This is the Finger Lakes shared with the North Country Trail. We're somewhere around like 3 or 4 miles on the day, and this trail has just been super muddy, and now it's just completely a stream running through this trail. We got 3 miles to go. We just crossed an intersection with blue blazes, which I don't know what trail that was, but 3 miles to go until the shelter where we're going to take a break. I'm pretty sure this is Wolf Run. We'll find out in a minute. Pretty nice section down here. And yeah, this is Wolf Run. Here's the sign right here. This bridge is super slippery. All right, so this Mount Tuscarora Trail, Blue Blazes. I guess that's what those other Blue Blazes were we saw about a mile ago. We're at the Willis Creek shelter. The fire pit, picnic table. There's an outhouse over there with no door on it, and there's a spring right up behind here. This shelter's pretty laid out, but as soon as we got here, there was 3 other backpackers that were just heading out of here. They had a dog. They're heading to the same shelter site where we're going to. Supposedly they have 2 guys are going to stay in the shelter and one's going to stay in a tent. Anyway, so hopefully it's not an issue with their dog. Like, it's about 1:30 and we changed our plans. Those other guys with the dog, it was going to be an issue with that dog at the same shelter that we're going to. So we're just going to stay at this shelter, and we're going to just cut part of the loop that we were going to do tomorrow. We're going to cut it out, and we'll just do the actual Cornplanter Loop itself without the extra partial loop. We did 7 miles today. We'll have about 13 tomorrow, and then a 12 and an 8. So we will be passing our food/beer caches tomorrow, so we'll pick that up. And we're going to hang 2 hammocks in the shelter. They got the eye hooks and everything. So we're going to get 2 hammocks in, and there's some tarps up here we're going to hang to block wind out front because it's supposed to be pretty windy. Since we got all day, we're going to possibly try to get a fire going. And yeah, we got all day to figure this out. Everything is so wet. I don't know that we're going to be able to get a fire going. It rained all last night. At least it was nice listening to the rain on the tent, though. I mean, it's always better than digging a hole. That's what I always say. Yeah, no door still. So in relation to the shelter, you come up here, follow these Blue Blazes, and there's a spring right up there. It's 4:45, and we got all camp chores done. No fire is going to be happening tonight, but we did there was 2 tarps up here. We tried the blue one first, and then this green one. And the green one fits perfectly across this entrance, so we got it tied up. We're going to drop it later and block some of this wind. Fit perfect. We'll just hold it down with some rocks down here at the bottom. It's 7:30, and it's been like misty, raining, and there was a couple people came through. There was like 2 people that came through, and they kind of looked at the shelter and saw that we were already in it, so they kept going. And they had like school book backpacks on. I didn't see them best well. So anyways, so I think I already showed the tarp that we got up here, but we got 2 hammocks hung up in here, and we're just gonna hang our food bags up here. So we're gonna do the hammocks like this, and Schutzen's hanging right here in the hammock right now, and yeah, this is gonna be the setup. It's supposed to get down to I don't know, kind of cold. So we'll eventually drop the tarp in a little bit and block some of the wind. It's supposed to be windy, and unless anything exciting happens, that'll be it till tomorrow. 8:15 from the hammock, and the sun is out today. Look at that. So yeah, this worked out pretty good. Fortunately, we got the food bags up there because there was a mouse in here last night that was eating some of this shamrock. This tarp worked out really good, blocking this wind. You could hear it, and the wind hitting this tarp last night. An 11-foot hammock, and this is how I got this hooked up in here. It fits pretty tightly, but and I was, just normal sitting position above the ground. So over here, I'm just tied off like normal to the beetle buckle thing. Up here, I borrowed a saw shackle from Beth, and she did some kind of Beckett hitch on her line to hook it up. And the other end, I wanted a little bit higher, so I took it and the other saw shackle up here, and I just hooked up to the hook part of the suspension right there. So that fits, at least in this shelter. All right, I believe this is Coon Run. It's a nice little area down here. Yeah, there's the sign, Coon Run. I like how they have the bridge cabled in case it gets flooded. the bridge won't end up a mile downstream. Forgot to mention that it got down to 39 degrees in the shelter. We were like in the hammocks for like 11 hours or something.
Yeah, 11 to 12 hours.
And I was like, slept totally comfortable. No cold spots or nothing all night long. I got a song of the day. Gonna go with, I know it's the Beach Boys. I think it's called Wouldn't It Be Nice? I'm gonna go with that as my final answer for the name of that song. We just had this road crossing here. Nice creek here. And we're heading right back up into the woods right here. It seems to be some kind of parking area or something down there. I don't know. I can't figure out where we're at. Oh, this sign will tell me something where we're at. Maybe. I don't know. We're in Allegany State Park, basically. Somewhere in Allegany State Park. We crossed the road back there. We stayed on the on the White Blazes, which is still Finger Lakes Trail, NCT. I didn't realize until we got up here a few minutes, and I started thinking, I better check and make sure where that turn is, and it should have been like right at the road. We should have turned to get off the Finger Lakes Trail, so we didn't get too far. Okay, this is like a snowmobile trail or something. This is where we should have made, we came from that direction. We should have came to the right up this way. Section we're on right here, we're kind of pretty close to the top of the ridge. I think that ridge up there, we're actually paralleling the PA New York state line. So we're gonna be making a sharp right very soon. We'll be back in PA. All right, we were closer than I thought. This is the state line marker. There's PA, and there shows up. New York on this side. I'm not sure what the 174M is for. Just check the Nat Geo map that I have, and this is the Indian Pipe Trail is what it's listed as on there. We're going to be headed toward Luther Reservoir. That's near our food beer drop. Oh, that's just Indian Pipe. It goes that way. I guess we're getting off Indian Pipe because it's become red arrows now. Red diamonds. We're coming out to this intersection here. So Luther Reservoir, I think, is the bigger one. Our food cache is down by Maria. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, reservoir. We've been on this access road for a while. There's another trail going over there. It's not where we're going, though. Hidden Valley Trail. Here's the reservoir. We're coming in from a different direction than we thought we were going to be. There, right when we dropped our food stash over here, there was a Blue Blaze, I think it was a Blue Blaze Trail that headed up that direction. And we passed the Blue Blaze Trail further up here. It was on the left now, looking up the hill. So we think that might be a big loop. Or some of these people were walking their dogs on that loop. Okay, so this Hidden Valley Passage, I'm pretty sure that's what the other sign said up at the top on this gravel road further up. So we could have not done that whole gravel road and just taken this Blue Blaze Trail down to the woods if we didn't know. It's not on any of the maps that I remember seeing. This was our stash. We got a beer canister and the earth sack over here. So we got some food and some liquor, and we're gonna leave some garbage in here because we're gonna obviously be coming back to pick these up after the trip.
Oh, it's freezing cold here.
Yeah, Mike's Harder or Fireball, Corona, or White Claw. And then I guess food is in this canister. This is a pretty popular reservoir for people fishing. A lot of people fishing down here. There was a lot of cars parked up by the road. There's a parking lot over here. This beautiful walk through the pines on this easy trail. Nice view of the reservoir over here. Beautiful day. It's like 68 degrees right now. So we should have about 3 miles to where we're hoping there's a campsite. There's not a whole lot of information on this whole loop, especially the parts we're going to be on from here until Tracy Ridge. This is the Maria Reservoir. M-A. I'm assuming it's pronounced like a Spanish or something. So as soon as we come across this long bridge across the end of the reservoir, you'll see this gazebo thing here. And the Maria Springs Trail is what we're looking for heading over this way. So I was thinking, maybe it's not pronounced Marilla like Spanish. Maybe it rhymes with vanilla. So maybe it's Marilla Reservoir and Marilla Springs Trail. So if this Marilla Springs Trail is has got a lot of muddy spots on it. I mean, granted, it did rain all night 2 nights ago, but Otherwise, it would be a really nice trail. We're a little bit unclear about where this supposed campsite is. So there's a spring right here. It's marked right here. Marked as a spring. And the one thing did mention something about a spring not too far from the campsite. But we're going to camel up right here and just take whatever water we need for camp from here. This is one of the trails we're looking for. This is the eastern end of the Bullis Hollow Trail. After we did this short road walk. All right, we just came out of the woods. There's the Bullis Hollow Trail over there. Under this forest road, the trail continues back over here. It's the white diamonds. So we're gonna walk in a little bit, and then we're gonna come to an intersection where we're gonna have to make a decision what we're gonna do, which I'll discuss later. Okay, here's where we make our decision. We're coming out to this forest road. Bullis Hollow continues over there, and so if we go up this way, it's going to take us to a bunch of ATV trails, which may or may not be muddy if they're heavily used. If we stay on the planned route over here, Beth was looking at satellite maps. It looks like some pretty bad beaver damage down there. So I think we're going to go the lesser of the two evils as far as right now and go up and do the ATV trails to get us over to Tracy Ridge for tomorrow. Okay, we walked down the Bullis Hollow, the White Blaze Trail, just to see what it was like. And it's looking kind of promising. We did find a good water source over there. We got some pines to work with, so we're just looking for something that maybe is an established campsite with a fire hang. I don't know if we're going to find one, but at least we'll have somewhere to hang hammocks around in here. So I guess the plan is we're just going to continue with this route tomorrow rather than going back and then doing the ATV trails. Hopefully everything works out with no beaver dam impassabilities. It's about 10 to 7, and we finally made a campsite. It's not an established campsite, but at least we got this nice water source. We did like 16.5 miles today, way more than I was expecting to do. But there was hardly any elevation. It was only like 1,300 feet elevation over that entire distance. So we were averaging 2.5 miles an hour moving speed. And so I just built this fire pit, just a little one. I think I might have a small fire. And this is Mike's Harder Black Cherry. This stuff is awesome. I'm loving it. So I'm gonna have Andrew Skarka beans and rice over here in just a few minutes. We'll get that going. We got everything set up here, the T-tarps, not the clothesline, the food line is hung. I already pre-dug my cat hole way up in the woods. Schutzen's got his little pup tent over here, but the ground's too cold, so he's in the hammock right now. At least we banked some miles that we're not gonna have to do tomorrow, so I don't know. I haven't really studied too much about what's gonna happen tomorrow, but this trail might disappear. We might be bushwhacking some tomorrow. All right, it's 8:30, camp in the morning. It was been up for about 45 minutes, and it got down to 36 it was 36 this morning. For some reason it didn't track the low last night, so probably mid-30 somewhere. Schutzen was having some kind of issue with his foot. He wasn't putting any weight on his one foot. We got about 5.5, maybe 6 miles to get to Tracy Ridge, where we have our campsite reserved for tonight. So instead of the original plan continuing on these white blazes, we are going to go about 1.5 miles down here before we hit a forest road. And then if we continue on, that's where Beth said that she saw those beaver dams all over the place down there. Might be a problem getting through. So she's going to carry Schutzen from here to the forest road. Just to make sure, because his foot seems to be fine this morning. He's not favoring it at all. So, and then from there, we're going to take 2 different forest roads up and over to get to Tracy Ridge. The original plan was we were going to do that. She was going to carry him all the way last night. This morning, after it didn't look like he was going to be able to walk. And then she was going to carry him all the way to Tracy Ridge. And then the next morning, I would hike out to her car while she stays there with him, and then just drive back and get her. But hopefully he'll be able to be back to normal walking. He's looking good this morning. All right, 9:30. It's already 53 degrees, and we're about to roll out of here and see what happens. So Schutzen's gonna walk, and hopefully everything is good there. He's running around camp pretty good. This Bullis Hollow Trail from the one report that I did find about it, it used to be an old railroad grade, and you can tell it was an old railroad grade at one point. We've already had to cross the creek once this morning. Looks like we're crossing again. And you can tell how long ago this was a railroad grade because you got trees this big that are growing where the railroad used to be. The one trip report I was reading was kind of an older one. There wasn't much info on this trail. So we believe that the trail may or may not just kind of not become a trail anymore, but these blazes seem to be pretty decently new. Another thing referencing back to that trip report that I read is whoever wrote it said that these blazes it'd be kind of hard to follow once all the leaves are in on these trees, even though they are like 7 feet up in these trees. We just came out onto this forest road from the Bullis Hollow. Bullis Hollow is going to continue over there, I'm pretty sure, but that's the section where there's possible beaver damage. So we're going to not go that way, and we're going to take this forest road. Either way, we're going to have to go up a hill, whether it's that way or this way, to the plateau and then over to Tracy Ridge. We're taking the roads just to avoid not getting stuck down there in the beaver dam area. All right, crossing the bridge, that's our first sight of one of the beaver dams right there. This, I believe, now is the popular campsite that we were looking for. I mean, I guess we could have done some hammocks over in that area. Yeah, but it's right next to the road. The trail report that I was reading said that this campsite was on 176, Forest Road 176. This is actually Forest Road 137, according to Gaia. So that's where the discrepancy is. And it looks like there's a little pooping box over here. Yep, that's what that is. There's 2 of them. One's an actual like handicap seat type of deal. This one, that's pretty decent. At least you got 2 toilets. They're right next to the campsite though. So there's the bridge where the campsite was, and it's right up here is where the Bullis Hollow Trail continues down there. I mean, it looks all right the first 50 or so yards, but who knows what else is down there. There's a little parking area right here. Google Maps says there's a beautiful hidden gem of a campsite down there. I kind of bushwhacked down there. I couldn't find anything. A little further up the hill from that quote-unquote hidden gem campsite, there's this one here, car camping area. Big fire ring over there. And as we get up here, see there's a number 4 right here, so I'm not sure if this is reservation campsite or what it is. This is hammockable. Hammockable over here. Fire ring, there's a good water source coming down through this valley. There's 2 fire pits. There's a little one over there. This is pretty decent. We're getting very near the top of the climb. It wasn't much of a climb. It was real easy. Nice and not very steep. As far as right now, there is a porta-john over here. Let's see what's going on. This is like a car camping site or something. This is number 3. And there's 1. There's 2, at least 2 fire pits. This looks like it gets heavily used. Something on the other side of this tree. This might be a poop bucket. I think that's what this is. It must have been before they had that porta-john over there. Look at this. This ain't a bad idea. Put one of them what do they call it? The pull noodles or whatever around a bucket. So this says foot travel welcome, closed to all public motor vehicle use. Right where that sign said foot travel only, that was where we made our turn, and this will take us directly over toward Tracy Ridge. Fortunately, it looks like there's a way around all this. So just to be aware, if you're doing this section here, connecting from that forest road over to Tracy Ridge, it's an old access road, very old, and it hasn't seen any kind of maintenance in a long time. It's a lot of this climbing over and under stuff. So, kind of slowing the pace down a bit, but we're gonna have a super short day, mileage-wise. Did start seeing the white blazes again, and along this access road. Looks like the access road continues over here, but the blazes are saying they're going through the woods. Okay, we didn't follow the blazes through the woods. They're kind of going off in the other direction. We stayed on this old access road, and we were looking for this field right up here. So this field is right by the road where Tracy Ridge is at. That's Route 321. It's noon. We just came out through this field here. Pretty sure this is 321. There's looks like state game lands or something over there. closed or something. We got a little road walk right down here to get to Tracy Ridge.
Nope.
Nope, what?
There's a trail system right here.
There's a trail right here?
Yeah.
So after we came through this field from the road, it's not very far at all till we see these blazes turning back into the woods. So we're over to the campground. Beth just found a $5 bill back there. Which I was just saying, we might have to pay somebody for water because I don't know if there's any water up here. We didn't think ahead to actually cache a couple of gallons of drinking water up here. I estimated that pretty much right on. We just hit 6 miles and our campsite is right up here around the bend. I found these in sheets. I guess they're a new flavor, peanut butter strawberry. And they are really good. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's only 1 o'clock, but I think I'm gonna get into this. This is the can I had in the ammo box. Would you have a Corona over there?
Yeah, I have my Corona right here.
It's still kind of pretty cool. It's 4:15. There's nothing left to do. We're gonna probably start a fire around 6 o'clock. We do have all our leftover firewood from whatever it was 3 nights ago, car camping here. And this, like I said, this is site number 9. And we're almost out of water. This is where we're getting our water out of this here. We don't see any other possible water sources anywhere around this loop. Now, of course, I didn't walk all the way around, but this might be about it. Fortunately, this is right here next to our campsite, and let's set up here, set up over there. Probably no tarp dropping tonight. This Bella's is, what is it? Dyneema?
Yes, it is Dyneema, dude.
Dyneema Bella's. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It looks like a chopstick.
Yes, it does. You can like fold it up.
That
I think it's like a gram, maybe 2. I don't know. I think it's a gram.
It's almost 8:15 in the morning. It's already 61 degrees. There's thunderstorms later today, so hopefully we'll get off trail by then. We should have about 8 miles today. And our camp is pretty much done being packed up. I want to really quick show my newest invention. Since I'm always having to, I'm too lazy to get my reading glasses out of the fanny pack every time I need to look at something on my phone. I'm always asking somebody else what my phone says. So I took an old pair of reading glasses and drilled holes, took the arms off, saved a few grams, and drilled holes and put this cord through here with a cord lock on the back, so it just hangs around my neck. It's always there without me having to dig it out. So far I'm undecided whether I like it or not. Just about ready to head out of camp. And so instead of taking the road down and then back over that way to get on the trail's right behind the campsite we're at. We've seen a handful of hikers going back in there, so I guess we'll just make sense to just cut through these woods to get onto the trail. These Tracy Ridge trails, they're all numbered throughout this whole Tracy Ridge system. And I think that was number 1 that we were just on. I don't know, it's kind of torn off of here. But we're heading over onto 15 right now. We're a little over 3 miles in on things. First 2 miles, nice and flat. The first 2 miles, super easy, the easiest part of this whole loop. And we had about a mile downhill. Now we're on to the North Country Trail right here. One of the Blue Blazes, down at reservoir level, officially. Nice tent campsite here. I mean, you can make some hammock trees work right around here. So that campsite over there, that's a really nice site. I've camped there once. We do have to get across this creek, and there's no bridge or anything. So we just hit the 7-mile mark on the day, and we're getting pretty close to the cars. We're gonna just cut down the hill here and have a road walk back to the car, short road walk. So I'm gonna start wrapping things up here. I'll put the total stats down below, and then take a look at stats from day 1 and day 2 and day 3 and day 4. And then I'm gonna put a screenshot of the tracking that we did here. I'm gonna make what we did I'm gonna make it the whole loop yellow. And if you look at the bottom of the loop, there's gonna be a little blue section, blue tracking section. That's what we were originally planning, but we didn't do. That was where the beaver dam possibility damage was. So the white line was just a road walk up there instead. And then if you look up in the top right corner of the yellow tracking, you'll see a smaller loop Half of it's like a light gray and half of it's an orange. The light gray is the Finger Lakes Trail, which I've done that section before, but the orange part I've not done. That was originally, we were going to tack that loop onto things, but that's when those guys we found out were camping with their dog at the Stony Brook shelter, so we eliminated that part of the loop. I'd be interested in seeing what some of those trails are like that we skipped, especially the Beaver Dam section. So maybe somebody like Jeremy78 could go out and do the video so I can see what it looks like. The trail itself, and there's not a ton of vistas or anything. Some sections were pretty muddy, but there's not a whole lot of elevation. It's relatively easy. No problem with water sources on this whole loop. I think that's probably about everything I wanted to mention. So yeah, at least it's you can get out into the Allegheny National Forest and do a multi-day loop trip. You know, only needed one car instead of doing like an out and back or shuttling. That's the end of this one. Thanks for watching.